Hello and welcome to day 20 of this shift taking application. So in today's video we are going to start integration, and that means we are going to take the data from database now and we are not going to use dummy data. So if you come here into this postman here, you can see I have already created other routes or other requests that we can do into a backend and also save our data into our database. Also you can see here also I have gone to this website that is MongoDB, where we created our online database from MongoDB, and you can see here like shift. I have added several shift here, and also other like users were there. Clients, I have added clients also, but the other thing that I have not added their announcement. So now I want now to start integration, and integration, that means that we need to do requests from our backend, or what we are calling API. So the first thing that I need to do is I'll come here into, let me close all of this. So, and the other thing that I want you to notice is that for now I removed this verify token, what we are calling verify token, which is a middleware to check if a user is authenticated or not. And that is because right now I'm just doing integration. This will come earlier on as we are wrapping up our application. So now let's close this because we won't need that right now. And also here I want to close these products here and these pages here from, and this dummy data now. So now the other thing that I want to do, let me first of all check if all these folders are being closed. So here I want to go straight to, let me show you. I want to go here into my shift because I want to start integrating my application or my application from the admin, and I want to start by looking at this shift, and the shift of course is in this product list here, where you can be able to see, or we can be able now to get our data from our backend. So the other thing here is that you can just rename this folder to shift list, and this one here like you can rename it to shift. That means this is a shift list where you can be able to see all the shifts that are in the database, and then when you click one you can be able to navigate to go to shift detail, of which now is a product. I can do that. I will be customizing it later on. So let me first of all start with that. So the first thing that you need to know is that you need to make a request, and to make a request we can use several libraries like fetch, Axios, but I find Axios to be a bit good, or to be one that I prefer. So here I'm going to install Axios. So here in admin I'm going to do npm and then install as Axios, like that, and then I'll just also use force here. So make sure you are using this npm I and then Axios, and then try and add this option for force. The other thing here is that you'll be able to see all shifts. You can see I have created this here. I have created this request here because I didn't want us to waste a lot of time creating this request, but with this I showed you how you can create requests and make requests using Postman in later videos. So if you haven't gone through other days of this shift taking application, you can go back and then check for them. So now here you can see we have all this, and also you can see we have for logging I have not added. We have add shift clocking. Here you can see how clocking looks like. You can see clocking, we need to send time, we need to send accuracy for our map, and we need to send now the coordinates object, which contains latitude and longitude. The same with clock out, we need to do the same. We need to send time, accuracy, coordinates in terms of latitude and longitude. So here also you can see how we can add client. Right now we are not adding documents, but I will show you later on how to add even the documents. Also here we have get all shifts, whereby if you send your request to this here in this API, you'll be able to see the shift down here. You can see all the shift that you have in your database. Also here you have get one. When you want to get one shift, this one here. So now that is it. I think now the Axios has finished installing. So yeah, I think now it's okay. So now the other thing that I want to do is I will be able to create another file here. So let me create this file and I will call it request method or request methods here, where we will have our request and where we will configure our Axios. So this is request method.js. It will be .js, and now here is where we need to start creating our request. So first of all, I will start by importing Axios. So import Axios from Axios like that. You can see it right there. So the other thing that I want to do is that I will create something that we'll call base URL. So I'm going to add base URL or what is our API. So this is our API like that. So let me come here and I'm going to, let me just copy this, and here, because it's our base URL, you can see that we'll only be adding until our version. So I'm going to remove all of this until, so we are going to we're going to have only this here we have this API, because this is the base URL for any request that you'll be doing in this application. So after this also I'm going to add another one that I'm going to call it, actually I'll start by exporting. So I'll just say export and then const, and then the other thing that I can add is URL, or I call it URL, and I'm going also to just copy this up here, like this one here, and I'm going to copy it. Let me copy it like that, and then I'm going to paste it here, so like that. So after this, now also I need also to have somewhere where you can have a token, and a token that we are generating from our backend when we are logging in. So here I will have a token, and right now because we don't have login information, or we can just leave it like that. So the other thing also, let me just add these semicolons here, so like that. And now after now we have this token, the other thing that we can do is to create an instance of Axios. So I'm going to say const, and this one is export, so export const, and I'll add, say this is one is a public request like that, and in here I can say Axios like that, and then create, and then now here I can be able to add my base URL. So this one I'm going to call it base URL. So this one here like that. So this is a base URL that we be having, and this base URL I'm going to give it like this base URL up there. So you can see how easy it will be, because we are going now, rather than adding or saying axios.post, we are going to take this public request.post or .get or .put or delete, whatever you want to do. So this is the first request. Here is the request that will be done when we don't require user to be authenticated, but we can have another here, we can have another request that we can call it user request. So this one I'm going to say const, export const, and then user request like that. And then here I'm going to say Axios and then .create. So .create here again. So this is .create. You can see it here, and then here also we can start. We can have an object here, but this object will have a base URL. You can see the base URL here, which is our base URL up there. So this one, and then after this one also we'll have something that we call headers, because I want us to send headers our token in our header. So here we'll have an object that will have token, and then here we can send now, start by having backtick. So base we'll have bearer like that, and then I'm going to have this $sign here, and then we can interpolate now our token, so like that. So you can see now in your application you can have this what we are calling the user request and public request. So public request is the request that you'll be doing and it won't require your user to have authenticated, but the one that need user to authenticate, then it means that you'll send user request, and then you'll get, yeah, depending on where you have saved your token, you'll first of all get the token and you'll send the request together with your token, so that the backend will verify if that token is valid and also if it has expired. So if it has expired, that means that the user needs to log in again to get a new token which is valid and also which has not expired. So that is it. So I need to go here now to start and try to see how I can make request. So here I'm going to start by now be able to use a use effect to be able to get our data from our database. So I'll just import it from React here. So if I do this, you can see we have use effect here. So use effect here will have two arguments. First one will be a function here, like this one here, and also it will have like this one, the dependency here, which is an array. So the other thing that also I'm going to do here is that I'm going to create a function. So I'm going to do const get shifts like that, and in here now I'll be able to do the request. So I'm going to add this, and then I'll say async, and then the other thing is that here, because this will be asynchronous, I must add the async, and then here it is an arrow function like that. So inside this one here, I'm going to start first of all by setting the loading to true. So here I'll need also to create another variable, and this one will be loading, and then here will be set loading like that, and then here I'm going to use state here, and it will be false to start with. And here also I'm going to start by I'm going to set loading first of all here to be true, because I'm starting to fetch my data. Or first of all, the other thing also I can do is to do try catch, so that I catch all the errors that might occur when I'm doing the fetching. So here I'm going by starting by set loading to true, because I'm starting to start by looking at the data in my backend. And then here actually I can add this semicolon here. Up here also I can do like const, and then I'll call this response or res, and then I'll do await. And remember, now we can use public request or maybe user request, but right now I'll be using public request. And then here I'm going to add get here, and then here I can be able now to use this URL shifts like that. So here now you can see all the base URL will be added here, and then at the end they will add these shifts URL. So also I'm going now to set now. So remember we have these shift rows, so I'm going to actually just leave it like that, like an empty array. And then here what I'll do is that I'll set now I'll be able to set the data. I'll set the data here to be to res.data. So from the res.data, because our data will come in this form, rest from the response, that is, and then you get it from the data. That's why you do dot data. So after this, now I'll be doing set loading to be false, like that. And again, here I'm going to, here in the catch error, I'm going to, let me add here, I'm going to set the loading to false, also setting the loading to false. And then the other thing also that I'll be able, okay, let me first of all control Z, like that. So here also the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to console log the error, because remember also, you can also remember that if you want to show the error, you can get the error. You can build up maybe a component that will be saving your error. So right now that is it. And the other final thing also that you should do is to now call this function down here. So get shifts, you call it down here. So this is the get shift, like that. And then here what we'll do is that now we need to come down here into this, let me show you here where we are showing this data grid. And what we'll do is that first of all, let me remove this. I want to show this data if and only if the loading is false. And here I can add this square bracket, curly braces, that is to start the, or to do the execution. So I'm going to do if loading, then that means that I can add this here. I can show the data grid with the data. If not, then don't show anything, or you can do anything that you want, or you can just actually you can just do something like div here, or even a span. You can return a span here, like that. And then here say error occurred, or maybe no data, or let me add error occurred here, occurred, like that. So here also I'm going to just format my document. So I have formatted my document there. And now let us start by looking if this will work. So right now, if it will work, then we need to remove these shift rows, because it is coming from this file that we are calling dummy data, of which now we won't require this here, this information here. So let me save. And if we go back into our application now, let me go into my application, and then I'll go here into my shifts. So actually it's not this one, this here. So if I click on this shift now, you can be able to see now that we have this shift. And then I don't know if this is, I don't think this is the data that we are getting. So let me first of all reload. So I think still it is caching the data that we had earlier on from the dummy data. So let me reload, and then let's see what will happen. So, or error, it is saying error occurred. So I don't know where the problem is. Let me inspect here. So here in the console here, you can see here chat is not defined. Let me see again. So here we can see like process is not defined, is defined but never used. We can see attachment is defined, is defined but never used. Here chat is defined but never used. Product is defined but publish is defined but never used. But here I cannot be able to see like what is happening. So let me show the data grid combo require all rows to have a unique key. So this is the error here. The data grid component requires all rows to have a unique key. So what I can do is that let me go into my code here, and what I'll do is that whenever we have this ID, then I need to, let me show you. If we have an ID here, let me see where we are. We need to change the ID. So we need to change the ID to underscore ID. So this one also, because from our database that we are using, it is underscore ID here. So item dash ID, let me check also here for an ID. So let me see here, like you can see these params are dot row, and then this one will be underscore ID. So like that. And then let me see the other thing also that we should do. So this is the now the ID it is in form of underscore ID. So let me see if this will solve our problem. And here let me see, you can see the here console log data, because now we can be able to see the data. And I think this will, I will just do it fine, will be fine. So this is the ID here. So here also I think this one will be underscore ID, like that. I don't know if this is what it should be. So let me see here, let me reload again and see if we get the we'll have the data. So actually also I'll be inspecting here. So let me inspect, and then let's see what will happen. So it is loading. So here we can see whatever it is happening here. So it is giving us, like you can see all the data is being printed here, but the same thing this here, it is giving us this error. So let me look at this error and then get back, we continue with this application. So since we have this error here, you can see the data grid component requires a unique property. So then here I can copy this, and also I can be able to just paste it here and see if we can get this, we can have this error. And so if you click here on Stack Overflow, you'll have the solution. So I don't want to go deep dive into this one. What I'll do is that I'll show you exactly what is the problem. So the problem is here in our data grid. Down here we need to add something here. So here I'm going to add another option that that is called get row ID, this one here. And then here I'm going to say, now here we'll be having like a function. So here I'm going to get the row, and then this row here will be row dot ID, like that. Or actually this one will be underscore ID, like this one here. So I think, I don't know what is why, actually the error has gone. And if we save this and then go back into our application now and then reload here, it should show us the, like it should give us like this, all of this data from our database, that is. So let me reload. So remember, when you're fetching the data from our database using our backend, remember to add this get row ID, and then use this row, and add this row dot ID, and you should be underscore ID, because if you check here into our database here, and then check for every entry or any data that you have with an ID, you can see the ID is underscore ID, is not just ID. So if we do this, you can see here error occurred. I don't know what is about this error. So let me go back into my code and see where the error is coming from. So this is error occurred, so loading, and then actually it should be the other way around, because you should it should be this, after when loading it should show us loading, and then after that it should give us this grid. So I did it the other way around. So actually this should be here, and then inside here we should have like a span. So let me have a span here. So this span here, we can have a loading, can say loading, and then dot 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 like that, so showing that it is loading. So after this, now I have changed, and then when we reload now, let us see if we reload our application, what we'll see. So now it is taking a lot of time to reload, but this is challenges that someone comes through when you are trying to create something, and especially if it is live. So here, let it load, and then we'll be able to see now the data. So you can see now this is the data that we are getting from our database, and here also you'll be able to see this is the data. So here, and then here also. So now I want also to fetch my the other data from our staffs here. From the staffs, we need to change this and have a staff. We have the data from our database and also for client. So let me do this. So I'll come here, and the first thing that I'll do is that for right now I'm going to copy all this again because I want to save time also. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going also to delete this console log data, and then I'll be going into this user list here because this is where we have our staffs. And then here I'm going to also come up here, and then here I can paste this. So the first thing that I'll do is also I'm going to change this to be empty, and then also I'm going to make sure that I import this, and here I'm going to add it like that, and also here I'm going to copy this like that and then paste it here. So this one here also I'm going to add it like that. And then the other thing that we need to also import is this public request here. So the public requests like that. And then also now I can do the other thing that I was doing here. So I can also come here and also paste copy this from here. Now I can be able to copy this until here like that, because it's the same thing. And remember, now we have this get row here that was giving us error. So here I'm going to also be able to come here and paste this here like that. And now because it is same thing, then let us save, and then we'll go into our stuff here. So let us reload here and make sure that this code is saved. So if I come here, so let it reload, and then we'll be able to see the stuff if they will be coming from our database, and then we'll do the same for our clients here. So let it reload, and then we'll be able to see here. So it is reloading, and then right now we can see this one here. We have 1 2 3 4 users, and I don't know if this is the user that we have in our database, but right now we cannot be able to see this information here. So I want to go back into my code and see maybe where I did the mistake. So here I will be able to see like the ID, the full name here, the phone, the address, the gender, and then staff ID. So let me check if this how they are called. Actually, I see where maybe the other problem might be coming from. So this one, it should be underscore ID first of all, and then let me see in my database if this data is corresponding well with my data in the data grid. So users here, my users. So let me come here in my users. You can see username here, full name, which is full name. We have full name here. We have phone. So we have phone here. So I think only this was the problem here, underscore ID. And then we can come here. You can see now we have this. And the other thing now is the full name. Let me see where the error is coming from, because here we have full name, and here let me see, here we have like a full name, it's exactly the same. And here also I can maybe add or say here, let me do something like email or something of the sort, email, and then here I can add email. So this is email like that or something of the sort. So if I do this, and then let me see if this changes. So if I reload again, let me reload and see if we get the data now displayed here. So because this is very weird. So here also let me see the entries that we have in our database. So in our users we have user 1, user 2. Actually we have only 2 users. So let me reload again and see if we get the data. So yeah, we have this here, but again I know where the problem is coming from. So let me come here, and the problem is coming from here. So let me show you where the problem is coming from. So here we didn't just we just left it like that, and we are not fetching from shift, we are fetching it from staffs. So the other thing is that also we here we can change to full name here, full name, and then here it should be full name like that, full name like that, or maybe here we have a full name like that, and then let us see if it will change. So also we can be able to reload again and see where the error is coming from. So let me reload it. So it is still loading. So that was the error that we are doing. We were not able to just be able to get the data from our the right correction, which we were getting from shift. Now we need to get it from our staffs. So I don't think if we are getting, maybe we are not getting the data. So let me try here and make a request and get if we can, and see if we can get the staffs. So here I'm going to create another request here. So this request here will be from our let me see, will be, let me check here. So here we have, and then here we can paste this, and then here also we need to have users here. So let me get, so actually this is, oh yeah, it is users not staff. Actually this is where I did the mistake. So this is also a mistake that I did, so sorry for that. So I'll be coming here up, and then I'm going to do users. So this is users like that, and then let us try and reload it again. Now we'll be able to get the data here. So let me see what will happen here. So let me reload. So this one also I'm going to remove this, so let it reload. So right now after reloading, you can see here we have these 2 users here, or the staffs. So now I want us also to fetch the clients. So right now you already know the process of doing this. So into a client here, we are going to go into this client list here, up here, and then we do the same thing. So I'm going to client list here, I'm going to copy like everything here. So I'm going to copy like from, let me add here from this get data here, and then all the way up to where I'm to here actually, and then I'm going to copy this, and then here into my client list I'm going to just paste all of it like that. But now here I'm going also to need to get this request, so I'm going to import it, and then here also I need to do that. Let me get that, and then the other thing is that also we are going to get this from clients. Here I don't want to forget like the last time. So this is clients, and then also the other thing that I want to do is that also I can change this to be get clients, like so like that. So also here we need to change to get clients like that. And then the other thing is that also here into user list we can say get stuffs like that, and then here change here to get stuffs like that. So here also I need to do that. So that is the now the thing. And then also here I'm going to copy the data grid now. So down here what we need to do also is that I'm going to copy all of this until here, because this is the same procedure that we used. So I'm going to copy this here, and until I'm going to paste this here like that. And then I don't know if there's another thing that we should do. So let me format this and then go back into our application. So in our application here, if we reload it again, now from we need to see the clients from our database. And here in our database we have only one client, because I had already only added one client. So let it reload, and then let's see what we're getting. So because it is reloading here, you need to see how it works. So here I cannot be able to see what is my clients here. So let me see the if I can reload here into my stuff. So if I reload in from my stuff here, I can be able to see them, but in my part here for the client I cannot be able to see the client. So let me come here and see maybe where the error is coming from. So I'm going to actually let me just move this. So let me just go and check here. So this is for the client. Here I want to see if I'm getting the clients also. So this is clients, and then let me see also here if I can fetch the for the clients. So I'm going to do here clients like that. So let me do the fetching of the clients. So yeah, you can see here we have a client and only one client. So I want to see if where the error is coming from. So here I think I know where the error is coming from. So let me come here in here, and this one I'm going to give it like underscore, because our database give us like underscore id, not like an id. So also I need to reload again. So let us reload here, and we'll be able to see like what is, if that is the problem now. So here we are loading for the stuff. So this is our stuff loading here. You can see it is loading, and then we can get stuff. If we go to client, it is giving that as like an error. So I'm going to inspect. So let me inspect here and see where the problem is. And I'm going to come up here and see. So this is here in console log. Component requires or to have a unique key property. So I think this is the error here, Also, the data grid component requires all rows to have a unique ID property. Rows as provided without ID in the rows prop. So let me see what they have here. So they are saying, because here I have already added this here. So what else also? I think also I've done pretty much everything here. So I don't know where the error is coming from right now. So this is ID here. So we have get row ID, which we are doing here, and I don't know if there's any error that, or here maybe I can just add this one like that. And also we can also be able to see other anywhere else that we have the ID, so that we can change this to underscore ID. So let us do the saving. So, and then now we can reload here. Let's see if this error will be gone, because the data grid component requires to have a unique key. This is the same error that we had earlier on, but I just figured it out by adding this option here, get row, and then you can have like this ID here. So let us reload and then see if we are getting the same error. So, and see, so it is giving me like the same error here, and I don't know what is happening. So let me first of all pause. So I have already fixed now the problem, and I don't know honestly where the problem was, because I have just completed building this. I've already like started the process again of creating this part here of adding this use effect and how to fetch the data, and also I made changes, like the same changes to data grid by adding this get row ID, and then it worked. So I don't know really what was happening with this client ID, but the good thing is that it has worked. So now from the next video, now we are going to start looking also into the view pages, where we can see detailed information about shift, and also other things like now we can add here like this shift here stuff, and clients, and also that will be starting also to go and see how we can add the shifts, how we can add the staffs, how we can be able to add clients also, including adding their documents. So right now I want to end this video here, and I wish you all to have a very good day, and I'll see you in the next video.